my God, what was that?
That was Madam Web, baby.
Wow.
#1 movie, gonna make a more $1 billion.
A more billion. A more million.
Yeah, and by the way, the exchange rate on that is like -15. So
Right. Oh my God. Okay, so shall we kick this little trailer discussion off?
Please.
We're ready to go.
Yeah, let's do it.
do it.
Madam Web, from a director's only made television shows, comes Sony's latest multi-million-dollar blockbuster.
Get ready,
Web.
guys! It's Morbin time, but we're doing it Madam Web style. Oh,
right.
we hired 2 actors primarily known for their sex appeal. One 50 Shades of Grey, one perpetual nudity in Euphoria, and we put him in a Spider-Man suit. This is what America wants, right? We want him in Spider-Man suits. That was, I'm not kidding, on Twitter, the discourse around it was the only compliment, the only thing that was like, we get to see Sydney Sweeney in tight Spider-Man costume. I'm like, guys, what is wrong with the brain rot is set in?
What are you
society
talking
right
about? Like, it's like, what?
That's it. That's all it takes these days.
How could you say that on the internet?
How
where
could you?
nudity exists? Where
her nudity exists because of her 5 roles now she's done where she is like done nudity, like intense nudity, not even like this is softcore pornography is a lot of what she's been doing. And it's like that weird actor that the director of Euphoria who just got in trouble for his show The Idol, where it was graphic and so unhinged that people are like, this guy actually might not be a genius. I know we think Euphoria is pretty good, but actually he might just be like a masochist. I don't know. He might be a pervert.
Yeah. But yeah, man. Boo. So yeah, another Spider-Man-less movie. This one, I don't mind spoiling most of it.
Spider-Man-less movie. There's Spider-Man in this film.
Yeah,
Which
Ezekiel
are
you talking about?
Is
Which Spider-Man is that supposed to be?
That's Ezekiel. He's not a Spider-Man. He's just Ezekiel.
Okay.
He has powers from like the magical totem of the spider god, which I guess will now be from like the web of life and destiny or some goddamn nonsense.
Oh my God. All these words you're saying to me are crazy.
Right?
This is like such niche comic book contrivance for a crossover and nothing else.
It has to be. Like, it has to be because otherwise, what am I going to do? Just make Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 4 or Andrew Garfield Spider-Man 3?
Yes.
Or Venom 3?
All of those would be better.
Why would you?
Any of those movies?
I would actually be much happier with the Venom 3 than that, because nothing in that told me anything. I don't think they even
I know
said
that I can
the
tell you the
words
whole
Madam
plot
Web.
right now.
They
I can
don't.
tell you the whole plot though. I can tell you the whole plot.
Yep,
You ready
yep.
for it?
I think we should. I think we should.
It's
because the movie is
literally.
not
I mean,
worth
it opens. It opens with this. I mean, terrible use of this Billie Eilish song, which is already like not a great song.
I
And
love that it's used because it's like, what do you want from me? I'm like, yeah, I want to know, Sony. Besides my money, what do you want from me? Just stop doing this. Just make Spider-Verse 3. Make Andrew Garfield Spider-Man the Spider-Man of this universe. And
why
move
couldn't we
on.
do that? Why is it it's such a crazy choice to not do that? Why
I know.
Andrew Garfield? Here's the thing. He's like, I'm not interested in doing. Give him money.
Yeah,
I know you have it. You just
Literally
made
just
$1
give him
billion
more money.
on a Spider-Man game. You want to make $1 billion on a Spider-Man movie? Give him money. Give him money, and he'll say yes to anything.
just say Spider-Man is in it. That's all you need to do. No one's like it's over. No one's gonna be tricked into going to see these movies thinking Spider-Man's gonna show up in them. You fool me with Morbius, fool me with Venom, fool me with freaking Kraven the Hunter. Are you kidding me?
Well, and you know what they're doing, right? This isn't about tricking comic book fans to go see this movie. This isn't Sony's usual marketing shtick, right? Where they give you Venom with no Spider-Man, so he's just like a weird, veiny monster looking guy. Sorry, censor that. But he looks like a giant. Like, are you kidding? He's like all weird veins. Like that's his whole design now. It's gross and it's weird, right? But they're not trying to trick us. They are trying to get like, well, the CW had superheroes, but they also had drama, right? They had Arrow and the Carrie Diaries airing at the same time. What if we use Dakota Johnson, right? Actress people love, post, ridiculing Ellen on the Ellen Show. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it's awesome. Ellen was doing her shtick where she gives people crap, and Dakota Johnson was like, I saw you at a birthday party recently, Dakota, and you didn't invite me. And she's like, actually, Ellen, I did invite you. You did get an invite. You don't respond because you don't like me. And it was like on her show. And that's why the Ellen Show is now canceled. That was like the ultimate being a fall of grace. So you got that. Gen Z appeal. We like that she took down Ellen. We don't like Ellen very much. Okay, cool. We got her. Sydney Sweeney, currently sex icon, popular actress icon from those medias people apparently like. Right? So we're going to toss them in a movie with a couple other no-namers who are obviously gorgeous. And we're going to throw in, just in case a guy has to go see this movie with a girlfriend, we're going to throw in Ben from Parks and Recreations. We'll make him Uncle Ben. We'll make him Uncle
Right.
Ben. His name's Ben in this other show that people like him in. He's Uncle Ben now. Adam Scott's in the movie. Let's market that. Let's market a like sex appeal, silly adventure that's more about these girls because they're really aggressively marketable than it is about anything comic book. I don't think it's for us at all. I think it's literally for a general viewer who wants to go see the
They're
next
not coming to see
flick.
this. This movie does not appeal to
not.
anybody. It may appeal to like squirrels or maybe like some kind of a fungus, but like I don't see how it would appeal to a human being because I don't see like who is this movie marketed to specifically? Like is it marketed for CW fan people? Is it marketed for Spider-Man fans?
Well,
Like,
that's
is
the
it
thing.
marketed for
CW fan people stopped existing. They did because
all the shows are over.
Well,
that's
all the
great.
shows are over.
They canceled them all, so now they'll all line up in the local cinemas to watch Madam Web, the only place where they're one-stop shopping for angsty teen drama and also Bat in the Sun-esque costuming.
Bat in the Sun-esque
vibe I
costume is the way to
got
do it,
from
man.
this was like one of those really bad horror films that are purposefully bad.
Right.
And that's the kind of vibe that entire movie gave off. I'm just curious, because it is Sony, do you think they're going to make references or even try to weave in the Spider-Verse?
Yes, 100%.
1,000%. Madam Web is, Dakota Johnson's going to be like, I'm feeling something. The way I'm seeing, it feels like I'm seeing through like a verse, like a Spider-Verse.
Yeah. No,
it looks like some kind of event that might be canon of sorts.
But I wouldn't be surprised if like we got like a scene where like she interacts with an actual cartoon Miguel O'Hara.
Oh my God. I genuinely, for a second, I was like, is that what they're trying to do? Like, is this supposedly a Miguel O'Hara that jumped into a live action? Like, because that's the vibe.
You cast Oscar Isaac in the role.
Yeah,
you have one. Can you just imagine?
It's true.
Imagine the line of dialogue when if she meets cartoon Miguel O'Hara, where she walks away and the other girl and he goes, "He's kind of hot, right? Oh my God, he was so hot. Oh my God." It's like, I can write this. I could write this movie. I could in just for fun put this together in about an hour and a half. Truly. It's such a just so dumb. I mean, like the Groundhog's Day trope that they did right at the beginning where it's like, a lot of crazy things going on in this city. Like, what? Dude, what the hell is wrong? What's wrong with you?
Well, that's going to be your, you remember when they dropped the Morbius trailer and for no reason Morbius said, "I'm Venom"? That's what that scene is for. Like, he's going to say, vampires, vultures, and venoms, oh boy. It's going to be that. And then, maybe when they say the second take, he'll say 3 other things in the Spider-Verse. I don't know. I would go see this movie if they promised me that Venom and Morbius were going to be in it, because it would be a shit show, but but with a lot of fun. Oh my God, look at how crappy Jared Leto is, and look at him trying to fight Ezekiel. What is happening in this movie? But no, it's just nope, another genuine attempt to make a franchise out of a deal I made 30 years ago.
I get the cash grab. I really do. I understand why they're doing it. I think as a kid, I was more jaded towards it, where it's like, why aren't we pushing for creative fulfillment? As an adult, I realized that it's not a real thing, and the value of where Marvel movies that are good and that were good before were good in spite of where they're being built and why they're being created. It's not because it's in spite of it. So Sony's an even worse part of that because they don't have a creative process. But you have the most marketable IP in the world. You absolutely do.
Yep.
Why are you doing this with it?
Right.
Why not do something that makes you a boatload of money in 1, 2, 3 months of shooting instead of every 2 years you put out a steaming pile of shit?
Well,
not even censoring myself.
Because Sony is not Sony doesn't make Sony thinks that they are a Marvel. Sony thinks that they are a Warner Brothers, and even Warner Brothers thinks they are bigger than they are. They are. Sony thinks that they can make an interconnected universe, that it's easy, that because they because they made a deal 30 years ago, they suddenly are entitled to an entire expansive universe of movies that are all interconnected. But they don't care or understand why it's interconnected. They just know that there's Sony is a perfect example of thinking that there are formulas for things that have no formulas, or that they think remember when they made the deal with Disney, they made the first Spider-Man movie, and they immediately were like, "All right, maybe we're gonna terminate the deal."
Yeah.
Like they were like,
Mhm.
"Oh, we figured. Okay, we got it. We're good. We're good." Like, like they're like a kid who's like being taught how to fix something by their father, and they're like working on it, and they're like, "Okay, okay, I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it." And then they just slip and cut
Mhm.
their hand off. Like they just that's what a couple of of successes for them. And what's frustrating is they're huge successes. Like Sony has an Oscar for a Spider-Man movie. They have an Oscar. They have more Oscars, I think, than Marvel does.
Potentially.
I don't recall if the Marvel Cinematic Universe has ever earned a single Oscar. I don't
I
remember
doubt.
about like
I mean,
best
maybe
visual
a
effects,
VFX Oscar once.
right?
Maybe.
But
Maybe.
Maybe for Black Panther. Black Panther, maybe they got something. They were
yeah,
nominated for sure.
they
Uh,
were but like, you know, it's frustrating to just watch this studio continue to fumble the bag, but also what's more frustrating for me because like Sony's gonna Sony. I expect Sony to churn out some contract requirement rights retaining bag of crap like
yeah,
this every 2 to 3 years. But what I don't understand is the audience that comes out and goes, I mean, you got to give it this. It's R
dude.
rated, or you got to give it
Everybody who
this.
watched Venom and made that original Venom movie a success, I'm
Billion
angry at you.
dollars.
I
Venom is
never
$1 billion.
understood it. I thought it looked bad. It was bad. I saw the second one because at this point it's in the MCU, right?
Yeah.
Like it's tied in. I knew the post-credit scene was going to tie into the other one, so I was like, I'll see this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like bad. I mean, it's a bad film. And just to say, like, guys, if you let that bomb, if you guys had let Venom bomb, Tom
Yeah.
Holland Spider-Man might be wearing the Venom costume right now.
It'd be over. Yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
true.
we could have gotten something. Instead, Morbius happened because of that. A lot
Yep.
of fun memes. And now we're having Madam Web and Craven
And
and
Craven,
oh god.
I'm almost convinced at this point that they are purposefully making bad films
right?
because of the fact of we all know those people that watch bad films because they're so bad that they enjoy them. And I
Right.
feel like that is what Sony is doing is they're making the bad verse where it just allows us to enjoy superhero films that are just so bad because I have a feeling Morbius is a prime example of this. They made some money because people wanted to see how
Right.
bad it
But they
was,
didn't make
how
enough
much
money.
of a train wreck.
They re-released the movie based
That
on their expectation that it was going to be like the room of superhero movies, and no one went anyway.
Yeah.
It did
Yeah.
bad.
but you know it. And
Yeah.
that's what they ride on is the fact
Right.
that they become memes and they become well known and then they're going to become known as the bad Marvel films. And you can very much tell as well that these are the films that they're making of, okay, well, if we make a Spider-Man one, we've got to share the profits with them.
Yeah.
But we can bank on the Spider-Man name without actually having him. We'll make
So
it
dumb.
slightly different and change it. Like you can tell that's what they're thinking is that
Yeah.
it's related to Spider-Man, therefore it's gonna make us money.
There's people
Yeah.
in our comments right now talking about how Venom was good. The fundamentally, the issue with that is make that exact movie without Venom, change the names, change the aesthetic, and you will have the same movie. Why waste an IP that is so incredibly recognizable as part of another character's mythos and burn through it? If we didn't get that, right? If Sony wasn't so hell bent on giving us Venom before, we maybe would have gotten Tom Holland in the black suit. Maybe we had Andrew Garfield. What if Andrew Garfield, upon his return
Yeah.
into No Way Home, was wearing a black suit?
Yeah.
Right. And I don't know how you do that, right? So there's so many different creative decisions that could be made beyond that too. Like we have a Flash Thompson, No Way Home. Maybe Flash just talks about his dad gave him a buzz cut, and he's like, I'm going to the army. Why, Dad? I'm a silly, goofy Flash Thompson. I'm not the bully, right?
Yeah.
Like there's so many different things. Like you build towards an Agent Venom, get us an Eddie Brock. We get anything. Instead, we have Tom Hardy doing a buddy cop adventure that shouldn't
With
be
himself.
Venom. It could be anything else. That's the issue. Isn't that these movies are bad, which they are. It's the fact that we are wasting IP on them. We're wasting franchise potential. And it'd be one thing if they were allowed to do that and Marvel had carte blanche to do whatever they wanted with Sony's characters. But Sony is licensing out to Marvel what they're allowed to use. You're wondering, like, why are the Tom Holland movies the way they are, right? Because Sony has, like, really tight, like, leash on what they're allowed to use. They weren't allowed to use the Green Goblin. Avi Arad was very intense on they can't do any of that. Because of that, Uncle Ben doesn't exist in the MCU. Like functionally,
really
he doesn't
weird.
exist. He's referenced lightly in the first one, and then he's written out by the third one, right?
Yeah.
That sucks. Why does that? Because Avi Arad and Sony executives were like, no, well, that's the reason our movies failed. Uncle Ben. It's like, no,
Right?
because you suck, dude.
Yeah.
So that's the issue. It's not that these are inherently bad movies. They are, but that's not why we're upset. It's because it's like you're burning through IP and you're burning through relevance. Like Venom, Sam Raimi didn't want to make Venom, so he made it and it was bad, right?
Yeah.
But give a director who wants it, because now you have a crop of directors that grew up with Venom, the Todd McFarlane era, like they grew up on this.
Yeah.
They're going to do a hell of a job portraying that character. I mean, we just had a great Venom story in the game. Like we just did it.
Right.
So
Yeah, it's a Madam Web fail. I'm not seeing it. Like, it's okay to not go see these movies.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'll say. Like, just like Morbius, don't go.
Mm-hmm. Go see anything else. Doctor Who's coming back. Stay home and watch an episode of Doctor Who with David Tennant. Go watch The Spectacular Spider-Man, the cartoon, written by Greg Weisman. Incredible story. He's also writing a comic book one right now called The Spectacular Spider-Man. Pick up a trade paperback.
Yeah.
Do something. Do anything else.
Book.
Sony, stop.
Knock it off. Nobody wants it.
Nobody wants it. Okay? That's that. That's the video.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, guys. That's been our review of the Madam Web trailer. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, join the Patreon, all that good stuff, and we will catch you all next time.